Most small farmers spend years dreaming about cows. They save, fix fences, scout pasture, run numbers in their heads, and the day they finally bring home 1 or 2 head of cattle, something shifts. The farm feels real. The neighbor gives a nod. The family stands a little taller. And the farmer walks through that pasture thinking he's finally made it. Then the months go by, and the money doesn't move. That's the quiet trap nobody talks about, because out in the countryside there's a saying that's been handed down for generations: if you want real money, raise cattle. And look, you understand why. A cow looks like an asset. It holds value. When a man says "I've got cattle," people respond differently. It carries weight. It carries respect. But here's the part that stings: there's a big difference between owning a valuable animal and running a profitable business. Big doesn't mean profitable. Expensive doesn't mean smart. And prestige doesn't pay for feed. If this channel has shown you anything, it's that the most important number on any small farm isn't the size of your animals, it's your cash flow. If money isn't moving, the farm isn't growing. Go ahead and hit subscribe. We talk farming with clear numbers and no fluff, and you don't want to miss what's coming. Now, today we're going to walk through the most common animals small producers choose, break down what actually works and what quietly drains you, and by the end you'll have a simple rule for choosing any animal that saves you from costly mistakes. Starting with the cow. A cow holds value, there's no argument there. For a producer with land, pasture, water, capital, and experience, cattle can be a powerful wealth-building machine. But the small farmer often looks at the cow's sale price and forgets everything it costs to keep one alive. Daily feed, pasture management, fencing, water infrastructure, health care, time, all of it stacks up quietly. And the bigger issue is that your money sits still. You buy a young female, wait for her to reach breeding age, wait for pregnancy, wait for the calf, raise it, then sell. A year or more can go by before you see a return. On a small farm with limited capital, that kind of wait doesn't just slow you down, it can put you under. A cow can be a great goal. It's rarely the right first step. So most producers then think smaller and go straight for the chicken. And chickens do have a real advantage: they move fast. Eggs hit the market weekly. Meat is always in demand. You don't need big land or big money to start. That consistency matters, especially when bills are due. A steady small income is often worth more than a big payout that's 6 months away. But chickens have an invisible trap. Feed costs can eat margins alive. If everyone in your area is selling eggs, prices get squeezed. One price hike from the feed supplier and your entire margin disappears. You can work every single day, feeding, cleaning, sorting, delivering, and by end of month find you've made almost nothing. That's not a business. That's exhaustion with a receipt. Chickens work when feed is manageable, management is tight, and your market isn't already flooded. Without those 3 things, you're running hard just to stay in place. Then there's the goat, and this is where things get interesting. Goats thrive where cows struggle. They browse a wider range of plants, handle rough terrain, need less capital per animal, and can provide meat, milk, offspring, and byproducts. They let you start small and build step by step, which is exactly what a farm with limited resources needs. But don't mistake hardy for easy. Goats require excellent fencing, and a goat that finds a weak fence doesn't see a barrier, it sees an invitation. Parasite management is critical. And the market still calls the shots. If your area doesn't have a buyer for goat milk or kid meat, you've got a great animal with nowhere to go. Goats can be highly profitable, but only when the system and the market are both set up to support them. Sheep sit in a similar space, less drama than goats, steady demand for lamb in many markets, and they let you spread risk across a flock rather than concentrating it in 1 or 2 animals. If you have 1 cow and something goes wrong, the loss is significant. If you have a flock of sheep and 1 fails, it hurts, but it doesn't knock you out. That kind of resilience matters more than most new producers realize. The catch with sheep is the same: parasites, predators, weather, and birthing complications can all eat your profits if management slips. Now here's where most people either laugh or lean in, and the ones who laugh are usually the ones who never did the math. The rabbit. On paper, nothing about a rabbit sounds like a serious farming investment. It doesn't command respect at the market. The neighbor won't say "look at that operation" when he drives by your rabbit cages. But here's what a rabbit can do that a cow cannot: turn your money around fast. Short production cycles mean more frequent sales. Less capital to start means less to lose if you make early mistakes. Minimal space requirements mean you can run a real system even on a small property. Multiple revenue streams, meat, breeding stock, fertilizer, give you options. You can scale up in stages, fix problems as they come, and build a customer base without betting everything on one animal. That's not a small deal. That's exactly the kind of setup a small farm needs to build real momentum. The rule is simple: before choosing any animal, ask 4 questions. How much capital do I need to start properly? How much space does it require? How long before it pays me back? And how much do I lose if something goes wrong? Any animal that demands too much on all 4 fronts, before your farm has the cash flow to support it, is a risk you can't afford, no matter how much respect it commands. A profitable farm isn't built on impressive animals. It's built on smart decisions that keep money moving, risk spread out, and growth controlled. Sometimes the animal nobody talks about is exactly the one that builds the foundation everyone else is trying to skip to. If this gave you a new way to see your land and your next investment, share it with a fellow farmer who needs to hear it, and make sure you subscribe to the Profitable Homestead, because this is exactly the kind of conversation we have every week. The biggest animal doesn't always build the most profitable ranch. Sometimes money starts small, but it turns over fast.